Welcome to our microlearning channel. In today's video, we will share a bit more on the dissertation journey on writing a thesis for a master's level research. The literature review is a crucial component of your dissertation, providing a comprehensive analysis of prior research in your field. It serves to establish the foundation and direction for your own study, helping to define the scope and objectives of your work. Today, we'll explore the key elements and purpose of the literature review, setting the stage for the rest of your dissertation. Understanding the role of the literature review will equip you with the knowledge to effectively research, synthesize, and present the existing body of work in your area of study. By the end of this section, you'll have a clear understanding of how the literature review lays the groundwork for your original research. The literature review is a crucial part of the research process, as it provides important context and foundation for your study. It allows you to situate your research within the existing body of knowledge, highlighting relevant theories, findings, and methodologies that have come before. By identifying gaps in the current research, the literature review reveals areas where further exploration is needed, contributing to the advancement of knowledge in your field. The insights gained from the literature review can also directly inform your research design, methodology, and data analysis, helping you learn from the valuable lessons of previous studies. Conducting a thorough and well-structured literature review demonstrates your understanding of the topic and your ability to critically engage with the existing research. The broad area we'll be exploring is research topics, finding an interesting subject to dive into. Narrowing down the scope is key. We want to focus on a specific aspect of the broader topic that we can really investigate in depth. Formulating a clear, concise research question is crucial. This question will guide our entire research process and keep us on track. The key is to start broad, then gradually hone in on a focused, manageable research area that we can effectively explore and draw insights from. The goal of this slide is to outline the key steps for conducting a comprehensive literature search to support your research. First, it's important to identify the most relevant databases for your field of study. Databases like JSTOR, PubMed, and Google Scholar can provide access to a wealth of scholarly articles, books, and other sources. Next, you'll want to craft effective search terms using keywords, synonyms, and Boolean operators. This will help you refine your search and find the most pertinent information. Finally, it's crucial to explore diverse sources beyond just journal articles, such as books, conference proceedings, dissertations, and gray literature. This will ensure you have a well-rounded understanding of the existing research on your topic. The key factors to evaluate when assessing the relevance and quality of sources are reliability, currency, and relevance. Reliability means looking at the credibility of the authors and publishers. Prioritize peer-reviewed articles and reputable sources with accurate data. Currency is important, especially in fast-moving fields. Look for recent publications that are up-to-date and relevant to your research question. Relevance is crucial. Select sources that are directly related to your topic and avoid including tangential material that doesn't contribute to your research. By carefully evaluating sources on these three dimensions, you can ensure you are using high-quality, relevant information to support your research. The literature review is a crucial part of your research, as it helps guide the reader through the evolution of ideas, key findings, and emerging trends in your field. There are a few common ways to organize the literature review. Conceptual framework: group-related themes or topics together to show how they connect. Chronological order: present the research in order of publication to demonstrate the progression of ideas over time. Methodological approach: organized by the research methods used to highlight different approaches and perspectives. The framework you choose will depend on your specific research question and the nature of the literature you're reviewing. The goal is to present a clear and coherent argument that guides the reader through your research. The chronological approach organizes sources in the order they were published, highlighting the evolution of research and progression of ideas over time. This can be particularly useful for tracing the development of a specific topic or concept. The advantages are that it provides a clear timeline of research and shows how understanding of the topic has changed. However, the chronological approach may not be suitable for all topics and can make it difficult to identify overarching themes. When using this approach, it's important to consider both the benefits and potential drawbacks and determine if it's the best fit for the content and goals of the presentation. The key focus of this slide is to discuss the different research methods used in the studies we reviewed and consider their strengths and limitations. We'll start by looking at the various research methods that were employed, everything from surveys and interviews to experiments and observational studies. For each method, we'll examine what kinds of insights it can provide, as well as any potential biases or limitations. This will help us assess the overall methodological diversity in the literature and identify areas where more research using different approaches may be needed. The goal is to give the audience a clear understanding of the research approaches that have been used so far and how they contribute to our understanding of the topic. The goal of a literature synthesis is to go beyond simply summarizing existing research. It involves critically analyzing the literature to identify patterns, trends, and connections between different studies. 3 key steps in the synthesis process. Identify gaps in the research. What questions remain unanswered? Compare and contrast the studies. How do they align or differ? Draw conclusions about the overall implications of the research. This deeper analysis helps researchers develop a more comprehensive understanding of the topic and pinpoint areas where further study is needed. Gaps in existing research expose areas needing further exploration and reveal unanswered questions or knowledge gaps. Identifying these gaps can provide valuable insights for formulating unique research questions or hypotheses, leading to new directions for research. Examining limitations within previous studies can highlight areas requiring further investigation, leading to more comprehensive research. Gaps in the literature often suggest potential areas for future research, paving the way for new discoveries and advancements within the field. By addressing these gaps, researchers can make important contributions and advance the understanding in this area. Conflicting findings in research are common and can provide valuable insights if analyzed carefully. It's important to identify areas where studies present contrasting perspectives and understand the potential reasons for these discrepancies. This could be due to differences in research methods, sampling biases, or the theoretical frameworks used. We need to critically evaluate the strength and validity of opposing arguments, considering the credibility and objectivity of the sources, as well as any limitations or methodological issues. It's crucial to present a balanced analysis, avoiding favoring one perspective over another, and acknowledging the limitations of each study. Discussing the implications of conflicting findings can help us better understand the research topic and identify the need for further investigation. Theoretical frameworks are the structures that provide the basis for understanding the relationships between concepts in a study. They guide the research process and provide a foundation for interpreting the results. Frameworks give us a lens through which to view the research problem, helping to ensure the study is focused and coherent. They inform how we collect and analyze data, making the research process more structured and meaningful. Using a theoretical framework is important to ground the study in existing knowledge and theories, rather than just exploring the topic in isolation. The literature review examines the diverse methodological approaches used in previous research on this topic. It highlights the key strengths and limitations of each methodological approach. The review evaluates the data collection and analysis methods, including surveys, interviews, experiments, and statistical analysis. It assesses the rigor and validity of the research methods, considering factors like sample size, data reliability, and ethical considerations. The goal is to provide a comprehensive overview of the methodological landscape in this area of study. The goal of this slide is to evaluate the strengths and limitations of existing studies on this topic. We'll start by looking at the strengths of each study, the research methods, key findings, and overall impact on the field. Next, we'll acknowledge the limitations of the studies, such as sample size, data collection, and potential biases. Finally, we'll provide a critical analysis that examines both the strengths and limitations in a balanced way. This will give insights into the validity and reliability of the findings. The key is to take a thorough, objective look at the existing research to understand its value and shortcomings. This slide introduces the key topics we'll be covering in the presentation, identifying emerging trends, suggesting future research directions, and highlighting gaps in the current research. Emerging trends are the cutting-edge developments and new areas of inquiry that are shaping the field. It's important to stay on top of these to understand where the field is heading. Future directions are the promising avenues for further research that can advance the state of the art. Identifying these can help guide the field's progress. Research gaps are the areas where more work is needed to fill in missing knowledge or address unresolved questions. Highlighting these can inform the priorities for future research. I'll dive into each of these topics in more depth over the next few slides. The key findings from the literature review highlight important themes, patterns, and significant results that will form the basis of our analysis and contribute to our own research. Identifying gaps in existing research is crucial, as it helps justify the need for our study and demonstrates how it will contribute to the field. Assessing the limitations of previous studies is important to inform our own study design and ensure we avoid similar limitations. Discussing the potential applications of the reviewed literature can help connect our research to practical situations, policy decisions, or further areas of study. The research question is the foundation of the study, so it's critical to ensure it is clear, concise, and focused. Identifying the most relevant literature is key. We want to select articles and books that directly address the research question. Analyzing the findings in the literature helps us understand how they relate to and inform our own research question. Drawing clear connections between the literature and the research question is essential to building a compelling argument and narrative. The visual on this slide nicely represents how the literature and research question are interconnected, with a central circle representing the question and the surrounding circles representing the relevant literature. The literature review is a crucial part of any research project, as it provides a comprehensive overview of the existing research on the topic. The structure of the literature review is key to ensuring clarity and coherence for the reader. The typical structure includes an introduction, a body that presents the main findings and arguments, a discussion that synthesizes the findings and identifies gaps, and a conclusion that summarizes the key points and suggests areas for future research. This structure provides a clear framework that guides the reader through the research landscape and highlights the key takeaways. Having a well-organized literature review is essential for making a strong, coherent argument in your research. The introduction is a crucial part of the literature review, as it sets the stage for the rest of the work. It's important to briefly introduce the topic and provide some context for the reader. Next, I'll clearly state the specific research question that is guiding the literature review. I'll also outline the scope of the review, defining the boundaries and parameters of what will be covered. Finally, I'll highlight the significance of this literature review, explaining why it's an important contribution to the field. The introduction serves as a roadmap, giving the reader a clear understanding of the study's focus and purpose. The literature review is a crucial component of your dissertation, providing a comprehensive analysis of prior research in your field. It serves to establish the foundation and direction for your own study, helping to define the scope and objectives of your work. Today, we'll explore the key elements and purpose of the literature review, setting the stage for the rest of your dissertation. Understanding the role of the literature review will equip you with the knowledge to effectively research, synthesize, and present the existing body of work in your area of study. By the end of this section, you'll have a clear understanding of how the literature review lays the groundwork for your original research. The literature review is a crucial part of the research process, as it provides important context and foundation for your study. It allows you to situate your research within the existing body of knowledge, highlighting relevant theories, findings, and methodologies that have come before. By identifying gaps in the current research, the literature review reveals areas where further exploration is needed, contributing to the advancement of knowledge in your field. The insights gained from the literature review can also directly inform your research design, methodology, and data analysis, helping you learn from the valuable lessons of previous studies. Conducting a thorough and well-structured literature review demonstrates your understanding of the topic and your ability to critically engage with the existing research. Acknowledge that no research is perfect. There are always potential flaws and limitations. Discuss the key counterarguments or alternative explanations that you've considered. Outline the main limitations of your study, such as sample size, data collection methods, or scope. Explain how you've tried to address these limitations and suggest ways to strengthen future research in this area. Effective use of quotes and paraphrases can strengthen your arguments and demonstrate your understanding of the topic. When quoting directly, keep the quotes brief and relevant, and be sure to attribute them to the original author and publication year. Paraphrasing allows you to restate ideas in your own words while maintaining the original meaning. This shows your comprehension and avoids plagiarism. When paraphrasing, aim to be concise and ensure the paraphrased content flows naturally with your own writing. Both quoting and paraphrasing should be used judiciously to support your key points, not overwhelm the audience. Maintaining an unbiased perspective is crucial when presenting findings. Focus on the evidence and established facts rather than personal opinions or biases. Critical thinking involves evaluating the strengths and limitations of existing research. Identify gaps and inconsistencies in the literature to provide a comprehensive analysis. When building an argument, it's important to acknowledge opposing viewpoints and present a balanced analysis. Consider multiple perspectives to create a fair and comprehensive discussion. Take an analytical approach to the data and findings. Draw connections between different sources and identify patterns or trends to provide deeper insights. The literature review is a critical component of any research project, as it situates your work within the broader scholarly conversation. It helps establish the context and foundation for your study by providing an overview of the history and current state of the topic. Identifying gaps in the existing literature reveals opportunities for your research to make a unique contribution and advance the field. The literature review also justifies your research questions and methodologies, demonstrating that your study is relevant and grounded in existing knowledge. By thoroughly understanding and synthesizing the relevant literature, you can build a strong case for the importance and validity of your research. The main findings and key conclusions from the literature review have been synthesized and presented concisely. The most relevant and significant findings have been emphasized, restating the core ideas and evidence. Significant connections and patterns that emerged from the literature have been identified, highlighting the most important insights gained. Limitations and gaps in the existing research have been acknowledged, demonstrating a critical awareness of the scope of the review. The literature review can reveal gaps in our current knowledge, highlighting areas that need further exploration and research. Emerging trends or inconsistencies in existing findings can inspire new research directions, pushing the field forward in exciting ways. The review may also identify areas where previous studies could be replicated or expanded upon using different methodologies, refining our understanding. These three key areas, unanswered questions, new research directions, and refining existing work, are important considerations as we plan future research. Now that you've completed the initial draft of your literature review, it's time to finalize it before including it in your dissertation. First, you'll want to thoroughly proofread and edit the review. Check for any grammar issues, lack of clarity, or inconsistencies. Getting feedback from colleagues or mentors can be very helpful at this stage. Next, ensure the arguments flow logically and that the overall structure of the review is coherent and well-organized. Based on your own assessment and any feedback received, make any necessary revisions to improve the quality and flow of the literature review. It's also critical to ensure your citations are consistent with the style guide required for your dissertation. Double-check that you've formatted everything correctly. Finally, make sure the entire literature review is formatted according to the specific guidelines outlined for your dissertation. The literature review is a critical part of any academic paper, so it's important to thoroughly proofread and edit it. First, we need to ensure the accuracy and consistency of all citations. Double-check that every source is properly cited according to the required style. Next, we'll edit the writing to improve clarity and readability. Look for opportunities to refine the phrasing and flow of the text. Finally, we'll do a thorough proofreading to catch any remaining grammar, spelling, or punctuation errors. This final polish will result in a polished, professional literature review. The goal is to present a flawless, well-written literature review that supports the overall paper.